Okay, now I'm watching. Now I am watching Gary's Economics Perfect Wealth Tax, and I'm waiting for him to get to what he's saying. Before he says it, I'm saying we need a, I'm saying we need a global government, a world government, an actual world government. I've been saying this for a while, even probably I can't remember because my memory's crap, but I've probably been saying this before I even started YouTube videos. And And you know, conservatives will be against this. Oh, we don't need no damn world government. We need world government, and we need all taxes on every person. But yeah, whatever. So whatever. Just astronomical taxes on the richest people. So to be continued. Now he did just say something important. He said basically what he said was he said keep people arguing over what tax to implement and blah 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 blah. Okay, let me sum it up. What he's saying is Reagan got the U.S. government to lower taxes, and what that did is it allowed rich people to start compounding their wealth for a long enough time where now we're in the billionaire things. And what we need to do, this is what we need to do. We don't need a wealth tax. What we need now is we need to say rich people across the board, the richest people, not rich like, oh, I have $1 million or $10 million in combined assets. Both I have $120,000 in the bank and I have a big ass house and 2 cars. Not all that, you know, $1 million to $10 million. But the people that have like $1 billion to Elon Musk. And, you know, 100 million plus, let's say, in assets and stuff. We need to say it's levy time. And since we're only America, because that's what I just said about global government, we need a world government. But since we don't have that, and America can't legislate a world government into existence because we're just America, America needs to basically say, we're taking all your shit, or we're taking a lot of your shit. Some people, you know, I just learned this a couple of days ago. Trump made some deals with a couple companies that he said, something, you give us 10% of your stock and you can do these deals. It's like with NVIDIA and Intel and something. And that was good. So what I think, I don't know if I've said this in a video or not, but what I think we should do is we should increase taxes. We should increase taxes as much as legislation should allow. And then cut back as much spending as possible. And then the government, our American government, and this is what American government should do. I don't know how many Americans are going to go for this. Start buying up stock in companies like Apple and stuff. Companies like GM, companies that have physical crap, not the AI companies. Well, maybe some AI companies, but stock in companies that are good companies, that are decently blue chip kind of dependable companies. So that basically the American public owns stake in some of these companies and can earn dividends from some of these companies. And then we can also say, on top of having representatives in Congress and House and stuff, the American public can have like a person on the board of these companies and can start basically saying, we can have a representative, for lack of a better word, on the board of these companies. And we can say, as a country, we could say, well, you're going to do this now. This is how you're going to act. You're going to be a better steward of this. You're going to be a better steward of that. And you're going to behave like this. And it'll only be like one vote on the board, but it'll be something. And that's the way it should be. It shouldn't be a fully state-owned company, but because that would be bad too. I'm hardcore lefty, but so I don't want it to be completely state-owned, but having all of these top-level companies, these like Apple and stuff, I think having America overtly own like every one of these companies, such that every American citizen basically yearly gets a dividend, not directly, but indirectly earns a return on what the company does in the form of a indirect tax income through dividends. So it would come into the treasury, into like the IRS, because if the American government owned 10%, 15%, 20% of GM, Apple, Microsoft, you name it, like 20, 50 companies, maybe even international companies, maybe even foreign companies, Chinese companies, that would ease the burden on the taxpayers much more than just giving a tax break. That would be much better. And then every year we could assign a little portion of the yearly budget to maybe buy some more stock in some of those companies, or new companies that are coming up, startups or whatever. If you want to have businessmen in the government, running the government or whatever, then do it. Maybe you see something starting up in a foreign country, and it's a public company, and you say that looks like an interesting company that's doing what do they call it, an IPO, an initial public offering. You say, well, maybe we should maybe we should put in, $1 million. It's not very much, but $1 million into an initial public offering might be a good buy-in, because in 5 years, that $1 million might be worth a lot more than $1 million. It'd be a good bet to do a few of those every year as a state actor. If you have the right people, if you have intelligent people looking around the world for interesting offers, it might be a good thing to do. I don't know. Now, capitalists will be like, well, that's our job as private, blah, blah, blah. Well, they want to be the only ones. They want to be the only people making money. They want the only one to make money off of private ventures to be private people. It's like they go to university and stuff, and it's like, oh, we did all this time and we did all this stuff and we learned all these things, and then like, oh, now I go off and I start this company and stuff, and now I'm a multi-billionaire. And it's like, you don't. Where's the give and take here to society? You need, you should, some of that should be given back, especially with respect to someone like Elon Musk. I mean, he's got, I don't know how, maybe I'm not making the point good enough. I don't know. Basically, he basically just said doing something is better than doing nothing. That's true. And there was another video that I watched. It was called the 7 Levels of Billionaire or something like that. And the video said Elon Musk paid 0 in taxes, and I was just like, well, I don't know if that's true or not, but they used to say Bernie Madoff. I think it's Bernie Madoff. That guy paid a lower percentage in taxes than his secretary or his maid or something like that. A lower percentage in taxes than the person that was basically his servant. And it's like, yeah, see, so that's kind of what needs to be addressed. So yeah, exactly. There needs to be some movement in the addressing of that problem, as opposed to nothing being done. And there is kind of the difference between Democrats and the Republicans, and what has been the primary difference between Democrats and Republicans, even in recent history. Democrats were capable of doing some movement, even though the movement was nowhere near enough. It was very, very disappointing movement, but it was a little bit. It was like the Affordable Care Act. It was like, well, we got a little bit of health care passed. It's like, yeah, you barely got anything passed, but you got something done. You did not get what we wanted, but you got something covered. It's like, that's kind of what we need. The wealth tax I want passed is something in the 90s for rich people. What I mean by rich people is like rich people, like rich people. Rich people by where, like, what I mean is like they don't ever think about money, and they just like walk by something with a for sale sign and be like, yeah, I want to buy that. It's done. And I mean anything for a for sale sign. The kind of people that you don't even think about money anymore when you want to buy something or do anything. It's not a consideration. The kind of people where the consideration is who do I have to, how do I put it? Maybe who do I have to bribe? Who do I have to, maybe who do I have to kill? That kind of question. Who do I have to kill to get a dry martini? They kind of ask that kind of question. Not how much does this cost, but who do I have to kill to get, that kind of question. Anyway, yeah. So this is longer than his now, which is kind of pathetic. But yeah. So, like I said, a levy first, and then go from there. All the things I said in this video: levy, government ownership of companies, and extreme taxes. Extreme tax on extreme income, and extreme tax on extreme wealth. And I like the wording extreme and astronomical, because I don't want to beat around the bush. I don't want to use any soft language about it like rich people and rich corporations use when they say they're firing people. Oh, we're letting you go. We're restructuring. No. I want to tax that ass off. I want to tax you so hard your butthole blows out. All right? Let's do it. All right? And anyone that says, oh, it's going to hurt the economy or anything, I don't, let's see if it does. And if it does, I'm poor. I have been poor. I don't think I can get any worse. And if I can, woohoo! I'm ready. Great. Because you know what? If I get worse, that means they're coming with me. Let's do it. All right. We're all going down into the gutter together. All right. Tax rich, kneecap rich, tax wealth not work. Boobs, 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 boobs.